What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year from the farm here. So this first video of the year, it's been a while since I've released a video here on the farm channel. First, for those of you who don't know, I busted the channel up and created the farm channel here separate. Used to I had just one channel, TN Outdoors Fanatic, where I did everything farm and all of our outdoors activities, hunting, fishing, trapping, camping. And I decided to bust it up and have a channel dedicated to the farm stuff, and then a different channel maintain the TN Outdoors Fanatic channel for the outdoors related activities. So we've been heavily focused for the past 3 months now on hunting. We actually had a trip to Wyoming where we went out and went pronghorn hunting and successfully took 3 pronghorn. And then we've been hunting here on the farm ever since. So if you want to see that kind of stuff, that 2024 hunting journal series is still ongoing right now. I'm still editing videos and loading that up on there. So if you want to see that kind of thing, then it's out there. But anyway, what I'm doing today is we are expecting our first snowfall of the year tomorrow morning. And for us, you know, around here in East Tennessee, it's not really suited for heavy snowfall. I've traveled all over the country for work. When I go up to the upper Midwest or out west, it's not a big deal if you get 3, 4, 5 inches of snow. A lot of times the roads are pretty straight, they're pretty level, they got huge shoulders, a lot of room for you to navigate and maneuver. Around here, the roads are narrow. Most roads don't have shoulders. They're windy, twisty, they're on steep hills, blind hills, curves. So when you get a little bit of snow, people out here just kind of go crazy and they start wrecking and sliding all over the place. But we're not going to leave. We have no plans on leaving the farm during this snow that's supposed to come. But what I'm out here doing now is just trying to check on some other things. Got to make sure everything's good with the chickens. We're going to make sure that's all set. We haven't been really above freezing for 3 or 4 days now, but thankfully we've had plenty of firewood. We always get firewood a year in advance, and so all of our firewood for this year we actually harvested and split and stacked a year ago. Well, you can't really see it in here. The woodshed side of the barn is a mess, but we are rapidly burning through firewood this year because it's been such a cold December so far. Compared to last year, it's much colder than what we had last year. It was a very mild winter, and so we really didn't go through a bunch of firewood, but burning through a lot. I was actually texting with my buddy Danny. He used to some videos, YouTube videos, TND Outdoors, and he was telling me the same thing. He's burned through way more firewood already this year than he did last year. And, you know, unfortunately, we're to the point where I may have to start tapping into, this is part of my stash for next year, back here behind me. Unfortunately, I may have to start tapping into that firewood for this year. It's seasoned, it's dried, but I may have to tap into it. So I'll wander over here toward the barn and shoot, if the sun's bad. I'll wander over toward the barn and show you a little bit more what we got going on over here. All right, let's get over here toward the barn now. Sorry, got a little sidetracked there. As I was starting to make my way over here, the neighbor showed up and I put the camera down to go talk with them for a little while. So what was I going to do? Oh, I don't know. Let's go see. So we've got the camper parked in the barn now. I don't know if you can see it. That sun may be blowing it out now, but camper's parked in the barn there. Go over here. So what we had, you remember we cut, I'm probably dark now, we cut down some hickory trees that were right here where the barn had to go. And what we've been doing slowly is working through, over here's the rest of the pile. So most of the limbs and stuff from the hickory tree we piled up over here. We've been sawing them up, stacking them over in the old tractor shed woodshed for next year's firewood use. But like I said, that'll be dry and cured and seasoned if we have to use it this year. I'd rather not. Well, that is muddy. I'd rather not. But the other thing is over here, take you over here and show you, is we've got all these hickory logs that we saved from the trees, the hickories we sawed down. So spin around here and show you. We've got all these hickory logs laid out back here behind me, and a couple of them I wanted to save to mill for very, what was that? Buzzard or something up in the tree. There it goes, it's a buzzard. Yeah, a buzzard up in the tree. There goes another one. And another one. All right, I need to figure out. There's obviously something dead over there. Anyway, man, there's a whole bunch of them. But we can saw up a lot of these hickory logs here for firewood. I mean, it's fantastic firewood. Plus, I've got a big white oak that we had cut down back over on the other side. That, I mean, there's enough firewood to do us an entire year in that white oak. But it wasn't ready to be burned this year. Same thing with the hickory. It'll be next year at the earliest. But I'm going to have to get that stuff sawed up, split, and stacked. So that way it can be drying and seasoning for the next, 10, 11 months. So we can have it next year. But anyway, I'm going to work around here. We're going to get some more stuff done before the snow hits tomorrow. I'm going to go get the kids. They're going to come out and help me move some of this firewood. They've got to move some firewood from the woodshed over to the front porch so that it's ready to take inside. Like I said, we've already had a fire going for probably 6 weeks almost every day so far this year. And last year we had a very mild winter, and so we didn't have to have a fire for the longest period of time. But anyway, we're going to get started doing that, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. All right, we got all the wood moved. I'm walking through the area now where that pile of hickory limbs was at. Got that all moved over into the old tractor shed. I was going to start trying to saw it up and stack it, but it was frozen. And just for those who don't know, and I didn't know this until last year, but you actually can have a situation where your wood that you're trying to saw, if it's got some water in it and you get down below freezing, the log can freeze. And I was trying to saw some logs last year that had been out in the weather, and the chainsaw was just skimming across. I mean, it was so weird. I couldn't describe it. I kind of wish I'd videoed it, but I called the neighbor and I was like, what is going on? I can't figure out what's going on. I've just sharpened my chain and everything. And he asked me about where the log's wet, and I was like, yeah. And he said, we've been below freezing for several days. He said, you can't saw a frozen log. I mean, I'm sure you probably can if you have a special chain that, but most of your standard chainsaws and the chains that come with them, they're just kind of, I'm gonna say they have some safety aspects in mind for them, and kind of make them a little bit safer to use for the average, just casual user, if you want to say it that. It's not like I'm buying a industrial grade logging chainsaw that's got a heavily aggressive chain or anything. But I had no idea that a log would freeze, and then if you're trying to saw that frozen log, you can actually just totally dull your chain, which I did. And so anyway, but got that all moved. We did saw up and split. We helped the neighbor mill some walnut back of this, and he let me have all the slabs off of that. And so we got all that sawed up and split and got it stacked in there. So that's good to go. I'm out here walking along. If you watch any of the hunting videos, I talk about the food plots that we put out and the cover crops, because we're probably going to try to have a garden either where I'm standing here right now this year, or I'll spin around here and show you over here. I got the neighbor's dogs barking at me out here. Or back here behind me. I don't know if I may put a garden here. This actually works up a lot better than this long, narrow strip that's right here beside me. But came out a while ago because we're expecting this freeze to happen over the next few days and all that. I'm using the freeze-thaw cycle of the soil to help me get a new cover crop and food plot going now. So I came out and I overseeded with some winter wheat and white clover and red clover. And what's going to happen is as the ground freezes and thaws, it's going to suck those seeds down into the top layer of soil, and they'll germinate more quickly here this spring. I say spring. Winter wheat and clover, they'll probably start germinating here in early February, which is usually when I start to see it happening up here on top of the ridge with all the sun exposure that we get up here on top. So since we're facing the ridge, the hillside faces to the southeast. So anyway, got that done, and that camera keeps spinning. I'm using my gimbal, and it kind of has its mind of its own at times. But anyway, all right, well, I think that may be it for today. I was just coming out here to check and make sure everything looks okay. Sounds like I got somebody coming up the driveway again to visit. I don't know. They went on by. Anyway, all right, well, that's probably going to be it for this video. So, like I said earlier in the beginning, usually from October through December, we're heavily focused on hunting stuff, so we don't really do a lot of content for the farm channel. But now that we're getting in, hunting season's wrapped up, we're going to get more into the farm stuff. So, you know, start trying to get firewood ready, you know, start working on that as those logs dry out. And then I've got all those hickory logs I got to work on. There's just a lot of other stuff, little piddly stuff that has to be done around the farm here before we're ready for the gardens to start going in the spring. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to sharing a lot more with you here as we get rolling into the year and activities around the farm and the farm activity type stuff starts picking up. So wish you a wonderful 2025. Thank you so much for coming along. Have a blessed day.